The end of the world. Humanity's favorite recurring event that never actually happens. Like that friend who keeps saying they're going to move to Bali and just start over. But you know they're still working at the same gas station. 5 years later. We've been predicting the end of days since, well, the beginning of days. And somehow, despite 0 wins and a pretty solid losing streak, people just keep doubling down. Gotta admire the commitment. So today, buckle up for a roller coaster of disappointment, panic buying, and doomsday cults as we count down 9 end-of-the-world prophecies that almost came true, but didn't, because apparently reality just doesn't care about our drama. 1. The Great Disappointment of 1844, starring William Miller and Crushed Dreams. Let's start strong with a classic. Back in the 1840s, a Baptist preacher named William Miller looked at the Bible, did some spicy math, and decided that Jesus was coming back. Not someday, not soon. October 22nd, 1844. Sharp. People sold their homes. Farmers didn't plant crops. Some climbed hills in white robes to get a better view of the sky. And then, nothing. Not even a thunderstorm for dramatic effect. This disaster was so big they literally named it the Great Disappointment. Imagine screwing up so badly your failure gets a title. That's like baking a cake so terrible that your family refers to it for generations as the crumbling of '09. Bonus, the leftovers from Miller's prophecy eventually became the Seventh-day Adventist Church. So at least someone got a logo out of it.
Y2K. When the world nearly ended because programmers were lazy in the 60s, remember the year 2000? If you're too young, congratulations on your knees still working. For the rest of us, people genuinely believed the world would implode at midnight because computers couldn't handle the date change.
Turns out when you design programs in 1965, you don't expect them to still be running 35 years later. Planes were supposed to fall from the sky. Nukes were going to launch themselves. Banks would go bankrupt. Humanity would spiral into Mad Max territory. Instead, what happened? People watched fireworks, kissed strangers, and updated their antivirus software. Y2K was the apocalypse that got debugged. Honestly, the scariest part was how many people owned bunkers, just in case. 3. Harold Camping and his 2-time loser prophecy, 2011 edition. You'd think predicting the end of the world wrong once would be enough shame for one lifetime. Not Harold Camping. This California radio preacher predicted Judgment Day would hit on May 21, 2011. Billboards went up. Followers gave away all their money. Some even euthanized their pets to spare them. May 21st arrived, and again, nothing. Maybe the rapture had scheduling issues? So Harold said, "Oops, my math was off," and rescheduled the end of the world for October 21st, 2011. Still no apocalypse. Just a lot of regret and very confused cats. Honestly, he's the only guy who turned the rapture into a limited-time offer. 4. The Mayan calendar, aka December 21st, 2012. Now streaming on 0 platforms. The infamous 2012 prophecy. The grand finale of ancient calendar anxiety. Some genius noticed the Mayan long count calendar ended on December 21st, 2012, and the internet lost its mind. Theories exploded. Planetary alignments, black holes, a mysterious planet called Nibiru crashing into Earth, solar flares, alien invasions, and probably zombies for good measure. Hollywood even made a disaster movie so chaotic that physics gave up halfway through. Spoiler alert, December 22nd came. The Earth still existed. So did bills, and traffic, and awkward holiday parties. Turns out the Mayans weren't predicting the end of the world. They just ran out of stone. Or patience. Who can blame them? 5. The Large Hadron Collider was going to swallow the Earth, but didn't, thanks science. Back in 2008, when the LHC, aka the Big Fancy Particle Smasher, was switched on, some people freaked out. Why? Because they thought it would create a black hole. Not a metaphorical one, like student loan debt. A literal black hole that would eat the planet. Physicists were like, nah guys, it's fine. Which, historically, is not super reassuring. Coming from people who wear lab coats for fun. But hey, they were right. We got Higgs boson instead of cosmic death. So, cool? Fun fact, the people who sued to stop the LHC from operating are now somewhere, quietly hoping we all forget they thought science, doom. 6. Halley's Comet and the Poisoned Air of 1910. When Halley's Comet came by in 1910, newspapers helpfully pointed out that Earth was going to pass through its tail. which, according to Panic, contained deadly cyanogen gas, because nothing says journalism like, "Comet tail may kill everyone." More at 11. This led to a glorious panic-buying frenzy. People sold comet pills, comet umbrellas, gas masks. Some genius bottled pure air and sold it in cans. Basically, it was early 20th century Gwyneth Paltrow. The comet passed. Everyone lived. Cyanogen didn't do squat, but it did teach us that if you say the word toxic loud enough, someone will definitely try to profit off it. 7. Heaven's Gate. The cult, the sneakers, the spaceship. Okay, buckle in, because this one's something. In 1997, the Hale-Bopp comet was in the sky. A guy named Marshall Applewhite, yes, real name, told his followers that an alien spaceship was hiding behind it, and the only way to board was to leave their earthly containers, by which he meant, well, everyone in the cult died by suicide, dressed in matching tracksuits and Nikes. Why? Because they thought they'd be beamed up like galactic VIPs. The world didn't end, but for 39 people, it kinda did. This prophecy didn't fail because the spaceship didn't show up. It failed because there was never a spaceship to begin with, just a comet, and a lot of misplaced trust. 8. Nostradamus, the psychic equivalent of a horoscope on hard mode. You knew he'd be on this list. Nostradamus, the 16th century French guy who basically wrote poetry that sounded spooky and vaguely threatening, and somehow, 500 years later, people still read his predictions like they're spoiler alerts for reality. Did he predict Hitler? Kinda. Did he predict 9/11? Depends on how loose your translation is. The end of the world? Oh, like 17 different times. In fact, people claim he said it would happen in 1999. Others say 2023, or maybe next Tuesday. Who knows? Honestly, Nostradamus wrote like a drunk fortune cookie, and people just roll with it. The only thing more powerful than his reputation is our willingness to pretend his vague rhymes mean anything at all. 9. The Modern Apocalypse Starter Pack. You didn't think we'd skip the 2020 prophecy party, did you? In recent years, we've watched people go full conspiracy speedrun. 5G towers causing, vaccines being microchips, Bill Gates as the new Antichrist, and of course, the Great Reset being the start of a new world order. Every time something big happens, someone somewhere is like, "This is it. The end is nigh." Meanwhile, the rest of us are just trying to remember our Netflix password and survive another Zoom meeting. This modern apocalypse isn't one single prediction. It's a mashup of nonsense, half-truths, and Twitter threads from people with usernames like AWokePatriot412, but credit where it's due, at least these guys keep the spirit of Doomsday alive. The creativity? A+. The logic? Somewhere between flat Earth and birds aren't real. In conclusion, we just won't quit, so what have we learned? That humanity has a deep, unshakable need to believe the world is about to end. Maybe because it's exciting, maybe because it makes our boring lives feel dramatic, or maybe because we just really like being wrong in elaborate ways. But here's the thing, we're still here. The world didn't end in 1844, or 2000, or 2012, or last Tuesday. And guess what? That won't stop people from trying again. So next time someone says the apocalypse is coming, just nod, smile, and remember, if they're right, you won't have to pay rent next month. And if they're wrong, well, you'll have another story to laugh about on the internet. Win-win.